At 2:47 in the early hours of March 14th, a barrage of 12 Iranian ballistic missiles slammed into Ben Gurion International Airport on the edge of Tel Aviv. The entire strike unfolded in under 2 minutes, from the first impact to the last. When the explosion stopped, Israel's only major international gateway was effectively taken offline. 4 of the missiles tore into the primary runway, leaving behind massive craters measuring up to 15 meters across and 5 meters deep. 3 others struck the aircraft parking zones, where 73 commercial and military planes were positioned. 2 missiles hit fuel storage facilities, triggering fires that continued burning 18 hours later. Another 2 struck Terminal 3, leading to partial structural collapse. 1 missile directly impacted the air traffic control tower. In total, 89 people were killed, most of them ground staff, night shift workers, and passengers waiting for early departures. Another 234 individuals were injured. Ben Gurion International Airport is now fully shut down. No incoming flights, no departures. All international air traffic to and from Israel has been halted indefinitely. The nation's primary connection to global travel and trade has been severed in a way that cannot be quickly repaired through military action alone. Subscribe to From Report now and enable notifications. What unfolded at Ben Gurion is not just a military incident, it represents a deep economic and strategic shockwave that will continue to unfold in the coming months, regardless of developments on the battlefield. To fully grasp its significance, it's essential to understand what this airport represents to Israel's economy. This was not an attack on a military base, it was an attack on Israel's lifeline to the outside world. Ben Gurion handles over 20 million passengers annually. It supports the vast majority of Israel's international travel, cargo shipments, business operations, medical evacuations, and even military logistics that rely on civilian infrastructure. Tourism revenue, foreign investment, emergency supply chains, and the perception of national stability all pass through this single hub. There is no equivalent backup. Smaller airports like those in Haifa and Eilat exist, but they cannot accommodate wide-body aircraft such as Boeing 787s or Airbus A350s, the planes that carry the bulk of international passengers and cargo. Those facilities are limited to regional traffic. For true global connectivity, Ben Gurion stands alone. That reality defines the strategic weight of this strike. Iran did not disable one option among many, it eliminated the only viable one. The repair timeline highlights the scale of disruption. The runway damage alone requires excavation, reinforcement, and full resurfacing with heavy-duty materials capable of handling wide-body aircraft. That process is expected to take 4 to 6 months. Terminal 3 suffered severe structural damage and may need complete demolition and reconstruction, which could take 12 to 18 months. The wreckage of 73 destroyed aircraft must be cleared from runways and taxiways, a process estimated at 2 to 3 months. Burned fuel has contaminated large sections of the airport grounds, requiring environmental cleanup that could take an additional 3 to 4 months. Optimistically, partial reopening might occur by September 2026. Realistically, January 2027 is more likely. Israel could be without a functioning international airport for anywhere between 6 and 10 months. This leads to a critical question already being examined. Why did 31 interceptors fail to stop even one of the 12 incoming missiles? Ben Gurion was protected by 3 Iron Dome batteries, all operational on the night of March 13th. They detected the incoming threat and launched interceptors. None succeeded. This was not a malfunction, it was a system being outmatched. Initial assessments suggest the missiles approached from multiple directions simultaneously, not a single trajectory. Each missile carried a cluster warhead, releasing around 10 submunitions during descent. That transformed 12 missiles into roughly 120 independent targets. These submunitions are designed to evade interception. They maneuver unpredictably, deploy at low altitudes, and reduce reaction time for defensive systems. Faced with dozens of incoming objects arriving at once from different angles, the system was overwhelmed. It could not process and engage targets fast enough. All missiles reached their intended zones. The result was precision damage across critical areas: runways, fuel depots, aircraft stands, terminals, and the control tower. The stated objective, maximum operational disruption and economic damage, was achieved. This reflects a broader challenge. Once cluster warheads deploy, a single missile becomes multiple threats. No current missile defense system is built to handle that scale simultaneously. The destruction at Ben Gurion also marks one of the largest aviation loss events in modern history. The financial consequences extend far beyond the aircraft themselves. El Al, Israel's national airline, lost 23 wide-body aircraft, including Boeing 787 Dreamliners. At roughly $300 million per aircraft, that equals about $6.90 billion in losses. But more critically, those planes represented nearly the entirety of its long-haul fleet. The airline hasn't just lost assets, it has lost its operational capability. El Al now faces the possibility of bankruptcy. Foreign carriers suffered similar damage. United Airlines lost 7 Boeing 787 Segundos. Lufthansa lost 5 Airbus A350s. Delta lost 4 Boeing 777 Segundos. British Airways lost 3 Airbus A380s. Additional losses from Air France, KLM, Turkish Airlines and Emirates brought the total foreign aircraft destroyed to 31. The Israeli Air Force also lost 19 aircraft, including F-15S and C-130 transports, reducing both logistical and combat readiness. In total, 73 aircraft were destroyed. Estimated losses: El Al $6, 9 billion foreign airlines, $4.5 billion Israeli Air Force, $1.2 billion, combined approximately $12.15 billion. But the deeper impact may come from the insurance sector. Aviation insurance depends on rare catastrophic events. This was not rare, it was decisive and repeatable. Insurers are already signaling that they will not cover operations at Ben Gurion without credible missile defense assurances. Israel cannot currently provide that assurance. Even if the airport is rebuilt, airlines may not return, not by choice but because they cannot operate without insurance. El Al itself may be unable to insure replacement aircraft, effectively grounding the airline permanently. The situation creates a scenario where the airport is physically functional but economically unusable. A historical comparison sheds light on the strategy. In 2006, Israel disabled Beirut's airport during conflict with Hezbollah. That action was widely criticized. Now a similar logic has been applied in reverse, but with greater consequences. Lebanon had alternatives. Israel does not. With air routes cut, maritime routes disrupted, and land logistics limited, Israel's supply chains are under severe strain. Weekly economic losses are estimated at $2.3 billion. Tourism, trade, and investment are all collapsing simultaneously. Over a year, losses could exceed $150 billion. Following the attack, Israeli leadership considered retaliating against Tehran's main airport, but chose not to. Such a strike would escalate civilian casualties, erode international support, and fail to solve the core issue. Israel cannot currently defend against this type of missile attack. The strategic imbalance is clear. Both sides can strike, but only one side demonstrated the ability to bypass defenses at scale. 15 days into the conflict, the situation stands as follows. Over 14,000 Iranian civilians reported killed, 19 American service members dead. Strait of Hormuz closed for 15 days. Oil prices above $115 per barrel. Israel's main airport destroyed, 73 aircraft lost, 89 dead. 234 injured, economic losses mounting rapidly. All of this achieved without ground invasion. This is not just warfare, it is economic isolation as strategy. Destroying an airport doesn't win a battle, but it can cripple a nation's economy for years. Subscribe to From Report and stay updated. when insurers decide on coverage, when El Al's future becomes clear, and when Israel addresses its defensive gaps, you'll find the analysis here. Before you go, leave one question. Can Israel protect Ben Gurion if it reopens? Will airlines ever return? Every comment is read. This is from Report.